Pembrokeshire. It's the sports show with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. Plenty still to come. We'll be talking rugby before 9 with Gareth Schofield and Rupert Moon coming on as well. But this is a first, I think, for Pure West Sport, that we've actually had a feature on pool, and I'm delighted we are as well, because we love ticking off all the different sports that we can cover across Pembrokeshire. And this is one that is actually pulling in really, really good numbers across the county. And leading the charge, I'm going to call you Pembrokeshire Pool pioneer. Eddy Collin is with us. Eddy, evening. How are you?
Yeah, even I'll take that, Ben. That's a pretty good one. I'll keep that one, I think.
I think you deserve it, because you were telling us off air about the numbers that you're pulling in and people getting involved with playing pool. You've just had a tournament which you're going to tell us about. You've got another one coming up. But how has this started, Eddy, over the last few years?
Yeah, well, recently I had a chat with Fraser about this on a call, and I started in the first sort of coming out of lockdowns, just trying to get a bit of interest in Pembrokeshire Pool. I just thought I could do, like, we've had town singles, you have the Milford League singles, the Pembroke singles, but nobody's really done a county singles in Pembrokeshire. So I thought we've got a lot of good guys around the county. It'd be interesting if we could see a bit of interest and play like a sort of a man cave pub club type tournament. Thinking if I could get to like 32 players would be fantastic, but I reached 47 in the first attempt. Then the second one, I tried to get to 64, and I reached 96. And then the third one, I thought, well, okay, could we possibly do the possible first ever PEMS 128, copying Paul Bushnell's Big Welsh 128 that's held in Abercrave every year. And we got to 136 entries, which was incredible. So, yeah, we've literally gone from strength to strength. And as I've just explained to you guys just now, we've had to halve the tournament per year, because I don't want to do it the same tournament twice a year. And unfortunately, a good friend of ours in the pool community, Henry James, passed away a couple of years back, and we've renamed one of the tournaments now the Henry James Memorial Invitational. So we have two annual tournaments. The Henry James we've just finished. Unfortunately, I lost in the final of that to a very good friend of mine, and a very good friend of Henry, David Lees. Totally outplayed on the day. He deserved his win, and all credit to Dave on the day. He played fantastic pool. I tried my best, but he was just a little bit too strong for me in the final. We had a fantastic day in Henry's old drinking establishment, and county pool was always played from the Milford Arms. We played league and Welsh team with Henry over the years, and it was fitting to have the singles final in a pub that obviously means a lot to him. There was a lot of his family and friends came down to that, and the pub was bouncing. I think that was really, really important for the area to start getting some money back into the pubs, start getting the vibe back in the pubs, and pool, and of course pool and darts, as you can see behind my head there. These are the sports that sort of they need to be brought back in a bit, because I think pool was sort of on the way out for many years, but at the moment it's really, really had a massive resurgence. And with these tournaments, it literally is going from strength to strength. So yeah, I'm just about to start the next 128. I'm up to 122 entries after 2 weeks of the entries being open. I've got about 2 weeks left before the deadline day, before doing the handicap, because it is a handicap tournament. So it tries to make it even for everybody who plays. Any of you guys play pool at all, you can come in on a fair handicap, and you can come into the tournament feeling that you're going to do well in the tournament. We pay good prize money. The tournament's split into two after the first round, so you get a plate competition. And then we run those tournaments right through to the finals night, where we try to share the venues around Pembrokeshire, so it's neutral for everybody, and it's good for fans to come and watch. And we've packed out venues in the Cricketers, in Pembroke. We've had 2 in Narberth RAOB, which has been fantastic. The landlords of both pubs put on food for the day. They do little specials and stuff to bring the boys and guys and the girls in. And we've just recently had one in the MILF. And to be honest with you, the MILF was absolutely rammed. David Lilly, the landlord there, fantastically. He got both tables reclothed brand new for the finals, which that's going above and beyond really. And his wife put on a lovely chili all day for the players and supporters, and I would say it was a cracking day, apart from me losing the final.
It sounds phenomenal.
And it was on my birthday. So some friend.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Yeah, it sounds phenomenal, the work you're doing and the interest that's there. Let me go to the guys. Fraser, and I know you're ready to come in with a question for Eddy.
No, I'm glad you touched on the pub side of it there, Ed. There is, I think, so much more to pool. I actually post-lockdown, started spending a bit of time in the North Pembrokeshire Pool League. I had a friend who I gave a lift to who played for one of the sides. I played a few games myself, and it changed my outlook on the game, actually, because, you've mentioned darts there as well, and people are going to pubs less now, of course, for economical reasons. The social scene isn't what it was in Pembrokeshire. And I started to realise that a league I hadn't really thought much of. Takes place on Tuesday nights, and it was bringing people into these venues, and it's not just about, of course, people putting money behind the bar. It's a social aspect as well, especially post lockdown. You made new friends from it, no new people from it, and how important that the sports like pool keep going for that side of it, not just for the sake of winning prizes or for exposure, but just people's well-being. You know what I mean? And for the well-being of pubs, for them economically, and for people, who are able to get out. It's such an accessible game, isn't it? It doesn't discriminate about age, gender. Youngsters can play it. It really is a simple game to get hold of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of ladies entering the tournament. I could probably tell you 10 guys that have messaged me in the last sort of 2 years, because we stream every game and we tried to get people, getting that interaction online. We've had, viewing of 100, 150 people watching a pool match on a Monday night. Online. It's, there's figures like that. There's figures like that are up the line, up in the UK tours and stuff. But to have them in Pembrokeshire, and then the buzz is there. People are talking about it again. People are coming out of retirement who are buying new cues because they just want to be part of it. The memorial side of things, of course, brings in that sort of element of people want to just be part of something to do with Henry still. And like the big 128, the prize money is huge. It's the biggest paid prize money in Wales now. The fun and enjoyment is back in pool. A lot of people have man caves. Due to the first lockdown, a lot of people built new man cave sheds, whatever they could, just to put a pool table in. And it's just going bigger and bigger and bigger. I think the next big thing needed now is a big pool hall, and once we have that, I really think we can do huge things in Pembrokeshire for Welsh pool.
Is it a sport that could do with more exposure, do you think, Eddie? Because you can't blame me and Gordon now. We're not at the Telegraph anymore.
Yes, it's sad.
It's not something widely reported on. If you look, might stumble across the Tony Cup once a year, but I don't think it's really publicised. It's not a big television sport either. So how important is it, things like social media for you guys now, for getting the word out there?
Well, to be honest with you, without social media, without internet, without people streaming these games from everywhere, wherever they're playing, like I say, there's no limits where you can play from. If you've got a table in your front room and there's plenty of room in your front room, as long as you can get your queue around it and you've got a decent set of balls and a good table in your house, you can play from there. And you can stream it. You put a little hookup wherever you're on there. You stream it. Everybody can watch it, and everybody's happy. It's the amount of feedback I've had, not just about the pool and the quality and all of that goes with it, but just the entertainment value. People are sitting at home or sitting in work on night shifts, and they're like, "Brilliant! What matches are on tonight?" So we update the page. So and so's playing tonight. And people are like, oh, brilliant. There's a betting element to the side of things. People want to have a bit of a gamble on a couple of the games. There's just a real good feeling about everything.
Yeah, Eddie, have you thought of doing a pay-per-view sort of?
I'm not sure we're at that standard yet, Gord. But, no, to be honest,
I can remember going back a long time now, Eddie, when you were a tremendous snooker player. Do you ever play that at all now?
No, I tend not to touch the snooker tables anymore. I had a bad shoulder injury. And I had full shoulder reconstruction surgery, and that was sort of the end of my snooker back then. I didn't
realise snooker was such a physical game, mate.
It depends who you play, to be honest. How much you beat them by. No, to be honest, I won't tell you the story about it, but I'll just tell you how I did it.
You tell me all.
I did it in my dad's, my son's first ever dad's race. I got tripped over, and
God!
Yeah, I took a full separation of my clavicle through the skin, and I was off work for 6 months with the worst injury of my life from a dance race. So
oh my God!
That put me out of action for a couple of years, but I actually did about 6 years where I didn't touch my cues because I never thought I'd probably play again. And then with the first lockdown and the resurgence, I could see online through these internet sites called Break Dish.
Yeah.
Then the county team got into the Welsh Premier League, and I was asked to come back and maybe play county for a season, which we did, and we tried our best at that level, but it was a very high level, playing against world champions every week, every month, and top players from this country. A good practice for the lads, but we were probably maybe 1 or 2 short of really staying in that division. So when we come back down, I work a 24-hour shift every week in my care home. So it was giving up every shift, taking all my holidays to work to do that. And unfortunately, I can't really commit the time to county. So we had a season at it, and then the boys have just gone back up now this season, and they're trying again. But unfortunately, with my work ties, I just can't commit to county. So these sort of tournaments on the side are only making people sharper, making people better. The exposure is huge. I mean, I have people from all over the county trying to blag their way into playing in this and saying, "Oh, I've got a postcode. It's just outside the Pembrokeshire barrier." I'm like, I check on Google Maps, and it's like 16, 18 miles outside of anywhere. Like, that's too far, boys. So it's everybody wants to play in it. But the one really thing I'm proud of myself from starting this is I've got some good friends around Wales from the pool community, and they've actually copied exactly what I did here in their area. So they're now doing it all over Wales. So I'm in the semi-final of the Carmarthen Open tomorrow night up in Carmarthen, and friends of mine who own Towie's there, and Steve Hodge is now running the pool there. They literally emulated and copied my first sort of notification I put online, applied for it, doctored it to go to Carmarthen and their venues, and they've started. So they're trying them in 3 or 4 different places across Wales at the moment. So that's something that I'm quite proud of, because they are literally copying the exact same thing that I did to start things off, and it's been a success everywhere. It's everywhere pool, everywhere that you go at the moment, pool is really buzzing. People are talking about it. The prize money's fantastic, but people just winning things and being out, like I say, the social aspect of it. It's really is. Like I say, I'm really proud of what's happening, and I do believe we can go to another level. To be honest, I think we've still got lots of room for improvement.
So you guess some good messages actually coming through, Eddie. Jack Coleman has said Eddie's new motto should be "Make Pembrokeshire Pool Great Again."
Yeah,
I think he's already done that. I think he's already doing that as we speak. Couple of things, Eddie, to finish up. You mentioned your next tournament. You're looking for 128 people. You're up to 122. I suspect some people watching this, as long as they've got a Pembrokeshire postcode, of course, might be interested in signing up. So 6 spots to fill. How do they get in touch?
To fill. We've got a Facebook page. You can email me. You can Facebook me. Our Facebook page has almost 900 members on it now. So it will fill, definitely. But if you want, what I'm hoping to do really this time is just have the 128. If I get 10 or 15 over on the reserve list, I might open it to a prelim round like we did last time, going to 137. But ideally for me, because it takes a lot of doing to sort the handicaps out, to get the wheel done, to get the draws done, then we've got to try and halve it. So a prelim round is a bit of a pain, but I don't want to turn people away from it. A lot of people have said, can we do a 256? I don't know. At the moment, without a big venue, I don't think that's possible. But I do believe if we get a bigger venue, and I do believe maybe in a year or so, we could possibly get to the 200 mark. And that would be, like I say, that would then, apart from the Welsh closed signals, I do believe then, I think that would probably be the biggest tournament that's in the history of Wales, bar the closed. Which, again,
that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Something I started in my man cave here. It's it has gone a bit crazy, but people are loving it. And like I say, I get new players every tournament. Girls, boys, youngsters, retired players. It's such a great mix, And with the handicap system seems to work. We've got different finalists every year. We're having people get to the quarterfinal. I do a bounty on someone's head through a year. So if the first person out of the draw gets £200 bounty on their head, and if you just play one game and you beat that one person, you get £200. So people feel like they can win something, I mean, the first prize this year was £1,500 for a local pool tournament, £400 for the quarterfinalists. It's really good money.
Yeah. I just want to pick up on that. Does the tension show then?
Massively.
Definitely.
Now, and I've seen this before with.
It's the stream that gets people, Fraser.
When you obviously you have a lot of people who enter for a bit of fun. I'm sure the earlier rounds are very fun and good spirit. But if you're potting a black with £1,500,
it gets serious.
Well, to be honest with you, I was hoping the nerves were going to affect Dave a bit more in the final when he was because he'd had a couple of Guinnesses on board by then. He seemed to just get down and slot it in. But he, like I say, he played great on the day, and I love playing against somebody who plays so well. Even like he had a couple of start on a handicap, but even without the handicap on the day, he would have still beat me by 1. So, like I say, he played great at the final, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I'm not as bad a loser as I used to be now. I've got a bit older, but yeah, the tension, the thing that the tension really builds up. It's not playing even for the money. It's playing under the stream. It's playing on the internet, and your mum or your auntie or your sister or your mother or your wife or or you want to test your friends, or just the boys in school. I got school kids playing this. You just know if you play bad, they're going to start giving you banter. So that's the pressure I feel the most. And I think this is why we do it under the pressure, because when you go up to Swansea, Cardiff, and you play in these tour events and these Welsh qualifiers and stuff like that in the league, all the stream tables, people go on them and they just freeze. So now everybody that plays in Pembrokeshire used to playing under a little bit of that limelight, and it makes a huge difference. And it takes some getting used to. You might play 2 or 3 matches before you start relaxing. And I have people going, "Oh my God, I can't play when the camera's on." And some people message and say, "Oh, there was a bad internet. I couldn't keep the stream on." And then I'll say to them after what happened, that I just couldn't play under the streams. It was a bit naughty, but I'm not that strict on the rules of it. So, but it is the camera that kills people. It really does.
I see there's been a cheeky message there. Who's calling me a pool shark?
Yes, and Nick Daly has said that Fraser Watson is a pool shark. So we are going to have to go in a set. But Eddie, I was just wondering, if we get Fraser entered, are you going to put a bounty on his head?
Well, he'll have a handicap, and he'll
£2.50
out the draw to be the bounty. I've got to be fair on everybody, but a fair handicap, we could come to, and it'd be nice to see somebody from here representing. So, Fraser, take one of the 6 spots. You're more than welcome.
I will have a chat off air.
You're not committing, mate.
Does that sound like a no to you, Gord?
It sounds like a no comment.
It did. Listen, Eddie, thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much for coming on the show this evening. It's absolutely brilliant to hear from you.
Good to see you again, Eddie.
I'm going to add passionate as well. Passionate Pembrokeshire Pool pioneer to your title, I think, because you truly are. Keep up the great work. You're doing a great job, and you're welcome on Pure West Sport anytime. All right.
Thanks, fellas. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Take care, mate.
Take care, lads.
Anything we can do to help. We are going to come back for the final part of tonight's Pure West Sport with Rupert Moon and Gareth Schofield in part 3 next.